Hello and welcome to episode 3 of our conversation with Patterson Board of Education President Oshin Castillo and Vice President Nakima Redmon. I'm Paul Brubaker. I'm the head of the Communications Department of Patterson Public Schools. This is the third in a series of conversations with the board president and vice president as they come to the end of 2 years of being the first women to hold the board's top 2 leadership positions. And that is the focus of this particular episode. President Castillo and Vice President Redmon talk about what it has been like to be women in leadership of the Patterson Board of Education. And if you're a man and you're listening to this, I'm going to tell you to keep listening because there's a lot in this conversation that could be applied to anyone in leadership. There is also a lot said about the double standards that women often deal with and some of the things that aren't fair when a woman comes into any leadership position. But there's also a lot said about the importance of maintaining clear and open communication with your colleagues. And I was particularly impressed by what President Castillo and Vice President Redmon had to say about the value of mentorship and the help they received from people who had gone before them in educational leadership. Among the people they mentioned, and there's many people that they mentioned, former Board of Education Commissioner Crystal Cleaves. So let's talk about the significance of the fact that you are the first women to, as a duo, lead the district on the Board of Education. What is significant about that?
I think being the only 2 women on the board, we had to make sure that we had a good relationship. Sometimes when you put women in power important places, people think we have a distinction against each other. So we wanted to make sure we knocked that myth down. We made sure that we stayed united. It was plenty of times people tried to get us to penny one another, and that wasn't happening. I just think that once they see that we really are friends, because you have to be friends first.
Yeah.
When I say friends, it's things that we can tell each other and we know that it won't go beyond just a friendship. Mm-hmm. But also when we can respect each other as colleagues and respect the decisions that's being made and understand where they were coming from. And if they were coming from sincere places, then you have no doubt that you have somebody that you can work with and somebody that you can move forward with. I think we had a past female when we came here, which was Commissioner Cleaves. She also put us under her wing when she was here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that was great because she made sure that we understood the dynamics of being women first on this board and making sure that we were able to get along with each other behind the scenes. So I'm forever and grateful to Commissioner Cleaves for that.
Would you be willing to say or to pass on a little bit of what she told you?
What she did was she made sure that
patience.
She said, have patience, yes. You're dealing with a whole bunch of men. Don't take anything personal and just move forward. Just be respectful to who you are and stay truthful to who you are. And people will see the realness of that. And I hold that dear because a lot of times when people come onto the board, they can be not as friendly. But she made sure she extended the extra mile. And she doesn't get credit sometimes for that. I think people just see that she was here, and that was it. So that kind of started our friendship. Because I really didn't know Ms. Castillo before we actually got on the board.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think, and going back to Commissioner Cleaves, I think to Nakima it was, you keep going. Because people always say, Commissioner Redmon is quiet. First of all, she is not. Let me clarify. She is not. But I think it was, you have a voice and you do what you do and stay true and do the work. To me, it was keep quiet. Because I'm definitely the one that's always outspoken, You might want to think before you say it. So it's definitely the first thing she told me. And we built a great relationship. And I think it's important for our young women in the school district to understand that they are capable of reaching whatever goals, whatever dreams that they do have. And I think that's one of the main things that led me to the school district was kind of to, come and tell these young ladies that it's possible. I was in this district I was an ESL student. I've been able to go about my way in education, go to school, go to college, come back to serve the community just because, there are many people who tell you that you can't do it because you're from the city of Patterson. And it's a fact, and it's very unfortunate, and our kids are still saying it, and that's not true. Everyone that sits on this board has a talent, a gift. They bring something to the table, and they are from here. And I wanted them to understand that it doesn't matter where your parents immigrated from. It doesn't matter what your dreams and aspirations are. And it doesn't matter how old you are, because I was a 23-year-old kid who decided to run for school board to the second largest school district in the state of New Jersey, because I had a passion to tell others that you can do it if you set your mind to it. And as women in leadership, I think many people, and that's just in leadership in general, others tend to think it's difficult for women to make decisions, and they make them out of emotion. And you know, there's people that second guess, you know, a woman's decision, and it's, we're in almost in 2020. People still think that way, but it's a big reality. Women are definitely held to a different standard than men are, because as we're on the school board and we're doing this, there is a lot of politics still involved, because you run an election, and the community expects things from you, you know, or to act a certain way, or dress a certain way, or speak a certain way. And women are definitely held to a different standard than our counterparts on the school board, and in any other realm of professionalism, even at my job or at administration. And it's an unfortunate reality, but it's a reality that still exists. And it's definitely a difficult ride because of that. But I think that when you find other women like Commissioner Redmon, who we believe in supporting each other and supporting other women, things tend to change. It's about building a team. I don't think it ever was about who's the board president and who's the vice president.
No,
it's about what we are going to do. And as she said, we've built a friendship outside of this. You know, I've speak to Commissioner Redmon way too many times a day. But you know, and it's part of, okay, what can we do next? You know, am I right? Am I wrong? Does this make sense? Even just the bouncing of ideas and kind of bringing all the other men on our board kind of into that conversation and into the mix, and doing it in a way that is respectful and it's understanding. But having a superintendent and a deputy superintendent who are also female has definitely been a great blessing. It's been very exciting. I think women in this community see the school district differently. They see engaging in things a little bit differently. In many of our cultures, you know, education and politics is still run by men.
Yes.
So to be in such a diverse city and have leadership be women, and at its point for city council to be in leadership, you know, city council president and vice, you know.
I think I think it was our first year.
Yeah.
When actuality, we had a whole female-run city.
Yeah.
At one time. So,
We had a
yeah.
woman, you know, mayor, and a woman council president, and we have, you know, a female assemblywoman, a female senator, and, you know, I think we actually have a picture of all of us together, you know, and that's the exciting part, and it's to add that movement. Not only are we women, but we are women of different ages, of different cultural backgrounds, of different religious beliefs, you know, but we have one goal, and it's, you know, it's the vision of moving the city that we all love forward.